Welcome friends. In this session, we deal with the paper Logic, Opposition of Preposition. Standard form categorical prepositions having the same subject and predicate terms may differ from each other in quality and in quantity or in both. This kind of differing was given the technical name opposition. Among the four categorical preposition a, e, I, o, both having the same subject and predicate, there exists a certain type of relation between them. In terms of this relation, we infer immediately the truth or falsity of one preposition from that of another. This is termed as the relation of opposition. Opposition does not mean total incompatibility or absolute conflict in meaning. Prepositions are regarded as opposed when they have the same terms as subject and predicate, but differ in quantity or in quality or in both. There are four types of opposition: contradiction, contrary, subcontrary, subalternation. Contradictory prepositions. Two prepositions are contradictories if one is the denial or negation of the other, that is, if they cannot both be true and they cannot both be false. Contradiction is the relation of opposition between two prepositions having the same subject and predicate term, but differ both in quantity and in quality. The contradictory prepositions are a and o and e and I. Thus, the a and o prepositions, all judges are lawyers and some judges are not lawyers, are opposed both in quantity and in quality. A, all men are wise. O, some men are not wise. E, no men are perfect. I, some men are perfect. Of the two contradictories, one must be true and the other false. If A is true, O must be false and vice versa. If E is true, I must be false and vice versa. Cannot both be true and cannot both be false. Contrary prepositions. Two prepositions are said to be contraries if they cannot both be true, that is, if the truth of either one entails that the other is false. Contrary is the opposition between the two prepositions having the same subject and predicate term, both are universal, but one is affirmative and the other is negative. A and E are contraries. A preposition that is neither necessarily true nor necessarily false is said to be contingent. For example, A, all roses are red. E, no roses are red. In these prepositions, both cannot be true, although both may be false and are regarded as contraries. Here, if one is true, the other must be false. If one is false, the other must be doubtful. Both cannot be true at the same time, but may be false. Subcontrary prepositions. In subcontrary, it is the opposition between two particular prepositions having the same subject and predicate term, but differing in quality. So, I and O prepositions are subcontrary. For example, I, some men are wise. O, some men are not wise. Here, both could be true, but could not both be false and is regarded as subcontraries. If I is true, O is doubtful. If I is false, O must be true. So, if I is true, O may be true or false. Both cannot be rejected at the same time. Subalternation. Subalternation is the relation of opposition between two prepositions with the same subject and predicate term having the same quality, both affirmative or both negative, but differ in quantity. One is universal and the other is particular. They are also called corresponding prepositions. So, if one is universal, the other will be particular. The subalterns are A and I and E and O. Here, the universal preposition is called the subalternate and the particular is subalternate. In the case of corresponding prepositions, where no disagreement between the A and the I or between the E and the O prepositions was implied. There is opposition nevertheless. The opposition between a universal preposition and its corresponding particular is named subalternation. In any pair of corresponding prepositions, like the two pairs just above, the universal prepositions is called the superaltern and the particular is called the subaltern. In subalternations, the superaltern implies the truth of the subaltern. For example, from the universal affirmative, all birds have feathers, the corresponding particular affirmative, some birds have feathers, was held to follow. And from the universal negative, no whales are fishes, the corresponding particular negative, some whales are not fishes, was held to follow. But the implication does not hold from subaltern to superaltern. A is the subalternate of I and I is the subalternate of A. E is a subalternate of O and O is a subalternate of E. A, all tyrants are cruel. I, some tyrants are cruel. E, no lions are winged. O, some lions are not winged. If the universal is true, the particular must be true. If the universal is false, the particular may or may not be false. If the particular is false, the universal must be false. If the particular is true, the universal may or may not be true. The square of opposition. These four types in which prepositions may be opposed as contradictories, as contraries, as subcontraries and as sub and superalterns are represented in a diagram called the square of opposition. In the square, the universal prepositions A and E are shown at the top with their corresponding particulars I and O at the bottom. Where there is more than one premises involved, as in a syllogism which has two premises, the inference is said to be mediate, because the conclusion is supposed to be drawn from the first premise through the mediation of the second. Where a conclusion is drawn from only one premises, there is no such mediation and the inference is said to be immediate. The immediate inference based on the traditional square of opposition may be listed as follows. Number 1, A being given as true, E is false, I is true, O is false. Number 2, E being given as true, A is false, I is false, O is true. Number 3, I being given as true, E is false, while A and O are undetermined. Number 4, O being given as true, A is false, while E and I are undetermined. Number 5, A being given as false, O is true, while E and I are undetermined. Number 6, E being given as false, I is true, while A and O are undetermined. Number 7, I being given as false, A is false, E is true, O is true. Number 8, O being given as false, A is true, E is false, I is true. As shown in the diagram, contradictories are A and O and E and I, contraries A and E, subcontraries I and O, subalterns A and I and E and O. Immediate inference. Inference is a thought process or mode of reasoning by which we derive a preposition from one or more given prepositions. Formal inference may be mediate or immediate. In immediate inference, we use two or more prepositions as the premises from which a conclusion is drawn. In immediate inference, from a given preposition, we infer another preposition that is necessarily implied in it. There is not explicit middle term in it. There are pairs of prepositions in which the truth of one can be inferred from the truth of the other as the instances of immediate inference. Such inferences are called inductions. Immediate inference is mainly divided into three: conversion, obversion and contraposition. Conversion. The first kind of immediate inference is called conversion. It proceeds by simply interchanging the subject and predicate terms of the preposition. Conversion is the process of inference in which we infer from a given preposition another one having the subject of the original for its predicate and the predicate of the original for its subject. Thus, no idealist or politicians is the converse of no politicians or idealist, and each can be validly be inferred from the other by the conversion. The term convertant is used to refer to the premises of an immediate inference by conversion, and the conclusion of that inference is called the converse. The given preposition is called the convertant and the inferred one is the converse. Rules for conversion. Number 1. The quality of the converse is the same as that of the convertant. If the convertant is affirmative, the converse should also be affirmative. If the convertant is negative, the converse also should be negative, because if quality is changed, the meaning of the converse will be changed. Number 2. No term must be distributed in the converse if it is not distributed in the convertant. Table of valid conversion. Convertant: A. All S is P. Converse: I. Some P is S by limitation. Convertant: E. No S is P. Converse: E. No P is S. Convertant: I. Some S is P. Converse: I. Some P is S. Convertant: O. Some S is not P. Converse: O. Conversion is not valid. A preposition: conversion, SAP, PIS. Convertant: all S is P. Converse: some S is P. Convertant: all men are mortal. Converse: some mortal beings are men. E preposition: conversion, SEP, PES. Convertant: no S is P. Converse: no P is S. Convertant: no men are perfect. Converse: no perfect beings are men. I preposition: SIP, PIS. Some S is P. Converse: some P is S. Convertant: some birds are mammals. Converse: some mammals are birds. For O preposition, SOP has no converse because its subject term is distributed. When a preposition is converted, the quantity must be changed, and this is called conversion by limitation. Number 2. Obversion. Obversion is that process of immediate inference in which the quality of the given preposition is changed and the predicate is replaced by its contradictory without the transposition of terms. The given prepositions is called obvertant and the inferred one is the obverse. If the obvertant is affirmative, the obverse will be negative. In obversion, there is no change in the meaning of the prepositions. Thus, the A preposition, all residents are voters, has the obverse E preposition, no residents are non-voters. The term obvertant is used to refer to the premises of an immediate inference by obversion, and the conclusion is called the obverse. To obtain the obverse of a preposition, leave the quantity and the subject term unchanged. Change the quality of the preposition and replace the predicate term by its complement. Table of obversion. Obvertant: A preposition, all S is P. Obverse: E preposition, no S is non-P. E preposition obvertant, no S is P. Obverse: A preposition, all S is non-P. I preposition, some S is P. Obverse: O preposition, some S is not non-P. O preposition obvertant, some S is not P. Obverse: I preposition, some S is non-P. Rules for obversion. The subject of the obverse is same as the subject of the obvertant. The predicate of the obverse is the contradictory of the predicate in the obvertant. The quality of the obverse is the opposite of the quality of the obvertent. The quantity of the obverse is the same as the quantity of the obvertent. A proposition obversion, SAP, SEP. Obvertent, all S is P. Obverse, no S is non-P. Obvertent, all birds are feathered. Obverse, no birds are non-feathered. E proposition obversion, SEP, SAP. Obvertent, no S is P. Obverse, all S is non-P. Obvertent, no birds are mammals. Obverse, all birds are non-mammals. I proposition obversion, SIP, SOP. Obvertent, some S is P. Obverse, some S is not non-P. Obvertent, some fishes are marine. Obverse, some fishes are not non-marine. O proposition, SOP, SIP. Obvertent, some S is not P. Obverse, some S is non-P. Obvertent, some fishes are not marine. Obverse, some fishes are non-marine. Obverted converse. By obverting the converse of SP, we get the obverted converse P not S. O proposition has no obverted converse because it has no converse. Proposition. A proposition, all S is P, converse some P is S, obverted converse some P is not non-S. E proposition, no S is P, converse no P is S, obverted converse all P is non-S. I proposition, some S is P, converse some P is S, obverted converse some P is not non-S. O proposition has no obverted converse. 3. Contraposition. Contraposition is the inference in which from a given proposition we infer another proposition having the contradictory of the original predicate for its subject. To form the contrapositive of a given proposition, we replace its subject term by the complement of its predicate term and replace its predicate term by the complement of its subject term. Thus, the contrapositive of the A proposition, all members are voters, is the A proposition, all non-voters are non-members. These two are logically equivalent and is valid form of immediate inference when applied to A propositions. To make the contraposition of A proposition, first obvert it, next apply conversion and then apply obversion again. Thus, all S is P, we obvert it to obtain no S is non-P, which converts validly to no non-P is S, whose obverse is all non-P is non-S. Thus, the contrapositive of any A proposition is the obverse of the converse of the obverse of that proposition. Contraposition is not valid for I propositions. Example for I proposition, some citizens are non-legislators has its contrapositive the false proposition some legislators are non-citizens. The contrapositive of the E proposition no S is P is no non-P is non-S. For example, no wrestlers are weaklings has the contrapositive the false propositions no non-weaklings are non-wrestlers. This is only obtained by limitation. Contraposition is partial when the predicate of the contrapositive is the subject of the original proposition. It is full when the predicate is the contradictory of the original subject. Partial contraposition is obtained by first obverting the given proposition and then converting the obverse. Full contraposition is obtained by obverting the partial contrapositive of the given proposition. I proposition has no full contrapositive because it has no partial contrapositive. Table of contraposition. Premises: A proposition, all S is P, contrapositive A proposition, all non-P is non-S. E proposition, no S is P by limitation. O proposition, some non-P is not non-S. I proposition, some S is P, contraposition not valid. O proposition, some S is not P, contrapositive O preposition some non-P is not non-S. A preposition partial contrapositive no non-P is S, full contrapositive all non-P is non-S. E preposition partial contrapositive some non-P is S, full contrapositive some non-P is not non-S. I preposition partial contrapositive no partial contrapositive, full contrapositive no full contrapositive. O preposition partial contrapositive some non-P is S, full contrapositive some non-P is not non-S. Inversion. Inversion is the immediate inference in which from a given preposition we infer another preposition, having the contradictory of the subject in the original preposition for its subject. Only universal prepositions A and E can be inverted. The problems to find out the converse, obverses and contrapositives. Converse. Number 1. No people who are considerate of others are reckless drivers who pay no attention to traffic regulations. Answer. No reckless drivers who pay no attention to traffic regulations are people who are considerate of others. Number 2. Some professional wrestlers are elderly persons who are incapable of doing an honest day's work. Answer. Some elderly persons who would be incapable of doing an honest day's work are professional wrestlers. Obverse. Number 1. Some college athletes are professionals. Answer. Some college athletes are not non-professionals. Number 2. All objects suitable for boat anchors are objects weighing at least 15 pounds. Answer. No objects suitable for boat anchors are objects weighing less than 15 pounds. Contrapositives. Number 1. All journalists are pessimists. Answer. All non-pessimists are non-journalists. Number 2. Some non-citizens are not non-residents. Answer. Some residents are not citizens. Now, let us summarize. In this section, we explored the 4 kinds of oppositions arising from the several standard form categorical syllogism. We distinguished the meaning of opposition from its ordinary meaning and ruled out the 4 oppositions, namely contradictory, contrary, subcontrary and sub-superaltern. When represented these oppositions in a square, the diagram is the square of opposition. The section also states the table showing the truth property of A, E, I and O prepositions as they stand in opposition relation to each other. Finally, the distinction between immediate and mediate inference is also done and the divisions are also pointed out. There are 3 immediate inferences, namely conversion, obversion and contraposition. There are few questions for you to answer. Number 1. State and explain the rules of conversion and obversion. Number 2. Draw the square of opposition and explain the rules of different opposition of preposition. Number 3. State the rules of contradictory prepositions. Number 4. What are the different forms of immediate inference? Explain with examples. Number 5. State the contrapositives of the following prepositions. A. Some soldiers are not officers. B. All scholars are non-degenerates. Number 6. State the conversion of the following prepositions. A. Some European cars are overpriced and underpowered automobiles. B. No reptiles are warm-blooded animals. Number 7. State the obverse of the following. A. Some clergy are not abstainers. B. No geniuses are conformist. There are few books for your reference. Number 1. Cohen R. Morris and Ernest Nagel, An Introduction to Logic and Scientific Method, Allied Publishers, New Delhi, 1976. Number 2. Copy M. Irwin, Introduction to Logic, Macmillan, New York, 1982. Number 3. Sullivan J. Daniel, Fundamentals of Logic, McGraw-Hill Book Company, London, 1963. Number 4. A Textbook of Logic, SCRT, Thiruvananthapuram, 2003. Irving M. Copy and Carl Cohen, Introduction to Logic, 9th edition, Prentice Hall of India, New Delhi, 1996. Hope you have followed this session. We will meet again with another topic in logic. Thank you.